Capaccio joining us here on the Western Hotline. I regret to inform everyone that I must reset my days without wearing my shirt inside out counter to 0.
It's amazing. And the fact that none of us, nobody on the chat, did nobody in the chat call you out?
Nobody knew. It's a hoodie.
This is not a you problem.
It doesn't have a tag on it.
This is an us problem.
There's a tag like on here. It happened again where I felt the tag
This is an us problem.
We didn't notice last time either.
Right.
I really feel responsible as the video editor for not seeing it on any of the stuff that I put up today already. But
we're at twice in 2 weeks, and the real question is, has this been going on for years and nobody caught it?
Well, let's be honest.
Probably.
Howard was not catching it.
True.
I'll have to go back and check the records.
I get dressed in the dark. It happens.
Does.
Yeah, happened again. All right. I've rectified the situation. Jeremy and Joe's out today. Nate Geary is in. We're going to talk with Sal Capaccio here on the Western Hotline. And Sal has made a request before we get to the Bills, so let's do that. I said I was going to make Nate defend Notre Dame, and Sal says he wants in on this.
Okay.
Right, Sal? Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm curious. I want you to know the position I'm coming from.
Oh, I listen. I heard you Monday, Tuesday?
Okay, good.
Yeah,
you heard me. I think I think it's childish.
Yep.
I am a Marcus Freeman fan. I like Marcus Freeman. I don't have any dog in the fight. I don't particularly root for Notre Dame. I don't care if they win or lose necessarily, depending on who they're playing. I like Marcus Freeman, and I think it's wrong what they did. But I'm willing to listen. So I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I'm with Sal.
And defense.
The biggest surprise to me was I can't believe the coach would be okay with that. Okay.
Yeah. Did you guys did you follow Reed Ferguson, right?
Yes.
Nate.
Yep.
Did you? I love what Reed wrote initially. He has some thoughts about it, and he said he played high-level college football, obviously, and he wrote, "I'd love to know who made the decision. Did the coach unilaterally make it? Did the players agree on it? Did the seniors just accept they would never play for Notre Dame again? These are seniors who probably wanted to play another game, but I don't know. I don't know what the intricacies of. So go ahead.
I can tell you. I know what happened. The players told Marcus Freeman they did not want to play. So the captains in this group particularly, there's a couple of seniors. Largely, they have a lot like the Bills. They have a couple of captains and then a leadership group. The entire leadership group approached Marcus Freeman and said they don't want to play in the game. So this was not a Freeman. This was not a AD decision. This was a player decision. From that, they were all together during the committee show, and basically the word is like the disappointment in the room was obviously very palpable. The problem here is this argument is being it's a little bit of a couple of things. First and foremost, Notre Dame has lifted a mirror in front of college football, and a lot of people don't like what they see, and they're really mad at Notre Dame for being the one to lift the mirror. College football has been broken.
Now they're the martyr for this.
That's right. No, but here's the thing.
Yeah, now they're
college
the martyr because of this.
Has been broken.
Sal, we're not giving Notre Dame enough credit.
No. I'm not even saying that. I'm not even saying that. What I'm saying is college football has been broken. The bowl system, since this new playoff is in place with 12 teams, it is meaningless. These bowl games are meaningless. And I
don't disagree.
This idea that Notre Dame's the one that's breaking it, it has been broken. I think if I were to ask you guys, a team that thinks that they are, and I'm not just saying they think this, I think a lot of people think Notre Dame probably had the third or fourth best odds to win a national championship. And thinking that you could win a national championship with this team, playing in the Pop-Tart Bowl wasn't something the players thought was a useful use of their time. Also, 11 other teams have opted out of bowl games. So I know the Pop-Tart Bowl apparently is a really big thing, even though nobody can name who was in the Pop-Tart Bowl last year, because it does not matter.
Brown sugar, cinnamon.
Because it doesn't matter.
Frosted strawberry, brown sugar, cinnamon, and s'mores.
I think here's where it comes down for me is, as a fan, would I have watched the Pop-Tart Bowl? Yeah, maybe, but
you definitely would have.
I really don't think I would have.
There's a Notre Dame football game on. You're going to watch it.
But I'm going to tell you this: no fan of Notre Dame is like, oh my God, I can't believe they're not going to play in this game. We're heartbroken. The players aren't heartbroken. They're heartbroken over how the situation happened. And to me, this is not about they should have beaten the head-to-head thing. To me, the head-to-head's out. That is not.
Can I interject? Because we need to get to the Bills.
We will.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So I just want to say, I don't care about all of that. You're complicating the entire story and making it about something it's not.
You're just making it about a bowl game, and I get it. I
am not. Can I tell you what it's about?
Yeah.
Listen, okay? There is a system that nobody likes. It's terrible. We all agree it's broken. I'm sure the Notre Dame players didn't care when everybody says the system's broken with NIL and portal. They're all about that, aren't they? Right? This is the system. This is what it is right now. Mm-hmm. You know what this is? I'm going to give you one analogy, and this is exactly what this is because I have lived this life now because I have a 12-year-old son. This is the travel baseball parent whose kid did not get the starting shortstop position and said, I'm leaving the organization. That's what this is. It's childish.
I think if Notre Dame had been ranked 11 all along, like apparently they should have been, I think Notre Dame would not have had a problem at all missing the playoff. The problem was they had been sold.
The week before they
had been sold. That why wouldn't they believe ESPN? Sure. Why wouldn't they believe the committee?
Who cares?
What do you mean? Who
cares? They were put in a spot. It's clear that these are the rules.
Okay.
You don't like it? I go home. Okay.
No, Sal, you can't say who cares because that to me is just dismissive of what the actual problem is, which was they had a committee show for 5 weeks with one team in a spot that they were apparently not using head-to-head for. Then they used head-to-head in the last one. This is about Alabama to me. This is not about Miami. Miami deserved to be in. All along, I thought Miami deserved to be in.
Now you're in the college football playoff. The issue is they decided not to play a game.
And I think that's the least of the story to me.
Well, to me, that is the entire story.
100%.
And a big part of this is many teams have said we don't want to go to a bowl game because the bowl game structure is falling apart, and that's fine. Above it all, I just remain stunned that Marcus Freeman didn't tell the players that said we don't want to play. Like, okay, then you don't have to play. Notre Dame football is going to go play football.
That's exactly right. So listen, how many kids are on a Notre Dame program? 100 now these days, right? I don't even know. I think college football, right? Over the last several years, I've seen bowl game after bowl game and team after team. And I agree, all these bowl games, they're terrible or whatever. You know what? A lot of guys opt out. You know what you do? You go play with the backups.
Yep.
It's the logo, the Irish, Notre Dame, everything on the helmet is way bigger than this.
Yeah,
and I agree 100% with what Jeremy's saying.
The players care as much as you guys care.
We're gonna move on to the Bills, but I just like you to answer this question, Nate. What if this happened in the Rudy season? Rudy never plays, huh? Rudy's like told the game's canceled.
Still is the last game of the year, so when
they go,
it was a regular season.
That team
game.
Go to a bowl game.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't think bowl games were.
Imagine there's a Rudy on this team right now, and he's about to play, and his parents. I'm half kidding, but I think it's lame. I think it's lame for every team like Bale. Your team, your fans want to see you play. Anyway,
we didn't want to see him play that game.
Good morning, Sal.
I love it. Great job. Okay, sorry, it's 8:15. I was curious what you got about that, and because I heard you tease that.
Listen,
so I know.
Things
I'll stay later if you want to talk about the Bills. Whatever you want to do.
Things are good with the Bills. Every once in a while, we gotta bring in some passion of some other conversations and some rants. I told everybody we're gonna call Howard later. I just want to hear him yell about Pete Alonso. So it's nice to mix it in. So, Sal, from Bills practice yesterday, what's the latest? Let's get the injury report going because it's light, right? Like if you're looking at the
thinning out.
Yeah, it could always change, but right now, like the injury report looks like it's trending in a very good direction.
It is. It's very encouraging compared to where it has been over the last several weeks. Only one player did not practice yesterday, and that was due to personal reasons, and that was Dawson Knox. So no reason to think that he wouldn't be available to play on Sunday. Otherwise, Terrell Bernard was limited. Joey Bosa was limited. I think that's the big one we're all monitoring and seeing where that goes. Spencer Brown was limited. He told media afterwards he thinks he's good to go for Sunday, so I expect him to play. Joshua Palmer was limited. Now, he's been dealing with that ankle for a while now, so we'll see where that goes. And then great news that Dalton Kincaid not only full, but only has the knee, no longer the hamstring listed on the injury report.
Yep.
Cole Bishop, he left the game with cramping. It is listed as a calf, but he should be fine. He was a full participant. So, yeah. Now, look, I say all this encouraging. They still have guys on IR that aren't coming back, and they're still banged up. Ed Oliver, not until the postseason probably. Michael Hoyt's not coming back. McCole Hardman's still on IR. Sean McDermott said, we'll see where that goes. But the point is, the guys on the active roster, this is as clean or as good of an injury report as we've seen in a while.
Very good. Well, that's good news because the game's a big one, and having all hands on deck or as many as possible is good. In terms of the guys that have a chance to play, the story was earlier in the week, a chance to play. Do you feel like there's any more clarity on that yet for Joey Bosa and some of these other players that might be trending in the right direction?
No clarity on it. Sean McDermott just basically gave his usual, we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
I do think if it's a Wednesday, to be limited is very encouraging. But I also want to remind everybody, yesterday's practice was a walkthrough, so it's an estimate of what they would be if it were a full practice. Today is a full practice, so we'll see where they are today.
Question for you in terms of injuries, because this got brought up yesterday, Sal, in the press conference, asking about Mecole Hardman, who is going to be eligible next week to be taken off of IR. And Sean McDermott didn't. I kind of assumed the IR stint was kind of just like a soft, like, okay, go over there and the rest of the roster will work on this. But it seems like, if he's healthy, that they might want to try to bring him back as the primary kick returner. And if they do that, they've got some numbers at wide receiver. They're going to have, it would be 7 receivers and someone at another position would have to be sacrificed for this. What are your thoughts on, like, what they do with Mecole Hardman? Because I do think that they like him a lot as a kick returner.
Well, it's not only him, it's Curtis Samuel also still on IR who could come back, right? But you're right. Yep. Yes. And I think Mecole Hardman gets put in a different bucket because he would be the punt and kick returner. So I don't think he impacts the numbers as much, but you're right. You'd still have to you'd be fat there. I think there's a more immediate question about this, Nate. Right now, you could have 6 healthy wide receivers on Sunday. Are you going with 6? Is there a guy that doesn't dress Sunday? Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Joshua Palmer, assuming he plays, we don't know yet. Tyrell Shavers, Brandon Cooks, Gabe Davis. Are you rolling with 6 wide receivers? You could. If someone sits on Sunday, who is it?
It's a great question.
Probably the guy playing the least amount.
Maybe.
Is that Keon?
Yeah.
Maybe. You might wonder if it's, I don't know. Sal, could it be matchup based, where they decide how they're going to attack a team?
Yes,
it could be just more than just who plays the fewest snaps.
If Joshua Palmer's healthy, he's playing, right? He is somebody they really like in the passing game. You could say, well, look, Brandon Cooks just got here. Yes, we like what he's doing, but we would need him down the stretch. He's older. I could understand that, but I think they like him a lot, and they want his skill set on the field. So I just think it's an interesting decision coming. I'm looking at the actual overall 53. Is actually something I was going to do today. I was going to tweet out today, and I think I'll do this a little bit later so fans can have a little fun with it. Tweet out the 53-man roster and say, all right, here it is. Assuming everybody's healthy, because it could possibly happen this week, what's the inactive list look like? I think it's actually really interesting to look at and try and pick it out and think, because there's some really interesting decisions coming down the road. They just, by the way, the Darius Slay situation, obviously he's on a reserve list, but right now you only have 5 actual corners and only 3 outside corners, only 3 boundary corners. Are you elevating Dane Jackson? And then, that adds to the numbers and what you're going to do. There's a lot of different things here that in moving parts. And then if Joey Bosa is able to play, that at least gives you those 4 defensive ends, Rousseau, Bosa, Epinesa, Solomon. Well, you have 6 defensive tackles right now. One of them is playing defensive end, TJ Sanders, which is not ideal. But what do you do there? Do you let go of somebody? I think there's a lot of roster decisions coming up.
What is going to happen at linebacker?
I was just going to ask that.
That's got to be it.
It's a great question.
Sal,
they've got decisions to make.
Well, there's a couple things going on here. I don't want to go too far into changing a lot of things, but people have noticed that Taron Johnson might not be the same guy that he was, and could it be more base defense for them, where they get 3 linebackers on the field? Once Terrell Bernard is able to go, I feel like Shaq Thompson is staying on the field. So what's your best guess for how it all plays out?
Yeah, it's a really great question. I've called it a uncomfortable decision they have to make, or conversation at least. Terrell Bernard is a good young player who they paid. He's their team captain on defense. I think it's also clear to see that the team has been better with Shaq Thompson in the middle of the field. Now, I'm going to say, I think there's circumstances for that. Terrell Bernard's been injured. He's had the ankle injury he's been dealing with, and the front 4's been injured. And I think in this particular scheme and setup and system, you have to keep your linebackers clean because they're smaller and they're athletic. That's just what the Bills employ. You could say they shouldn't do that, but that's what the Bills do. They're built to play in a passing 2025 league, right?
Yep.
But what's happened in a passing 2025 league is because so many defenses are doing that, offenses have gone more towards a heavy personnel running type of system and approach. And because of that now, the Bills are finding themselves a little bit lighter and smaller on the defensive end, and Shaq Thompson has kind of fixed that a little bit. So it's a really, really interesting decision. Now, I've said I don't think Shaq Thompson's quite the sideline-to-sideline guy, but he's actually playing really well sideline-to-sideline right now. He scrapes over the top. He finds the ball carrier. He gets there. I don't know the answer to this. Some people have suggested, well, then put Bernard at will. Well, I think long-term that could be the solution. Yeah. Long-term, next year. But right now, Matt Milano's playing some pretty good football, too, because I think Shaq Thompson's next to him. And I don't know how much Terrell Bernard's played will linebacker over the last 3 years. And I know they train everybody everywhere. He could do it. But is that really his position now? I just think it's really interesting what they have to decide here.
Yeah. Sal Capaccio joining us on the Western Hotline ahead of Bills-Patriots. The game could be different this time, Sal. We've kind of talked about that a lot this week. Reading New England's side of things and where they are, they're underdogs in this game. And I get the sense that the feeling over there is that that's not shocking to them, right? Like, this is a 5-time defending champ that has beaten a lot of good teams and looks like they're playing a really good brand of football right now. And New England is, listen, they've got a long win streak, but it almost feels like, it's not final boss status, but if they win this game, I think people would be really impressed. It would be their second win over the Bills in the same season. The Bills do not get swept. Sean McDermott defenses and Sean McDermott teams do not lose a second time to a team other than, like, the Chiefs in 2020. Like, they whether it's playoffs or regular season, they win after losing the first matchup. And, you can credit anybody you want to in that, but the Bills are favorites, and I think it's justified, and I don't think New England is shocked by that either.
No, and yeah, under McDermott, the Bills have never been swept by a division opponent. Mike Vrabel is undefeated coming out of the bye, by the way, 6-0.
Something's got to give.
So he's coming off a bye. I think it's a really good matchup. I'll say this. The Patriots are still the team that I thought they were, but even with a much more explosive offense than I thought they would have, which is they are really hitting on deep balls, explosive plays, and Drake May is the catalyst for that. He's amazing. He really is. He's a good young quarterback. He's really good. And he deserves every bit of the accolades he's getting and to be in the MVP conversation. That said, there's still a team that wants to play a messy game with you. They want to play a game where I believe Sean McDermott's I'm sorry, not Sean McDermott. I think Chris Brown said it best the first time they played, muck it up. They want to muck it up. They want to play a messy game. They want to get you to turn the ball over to them, and they're going to take advantage of that. They don't want to get into a game like the Bills played against the Bengals last week. You asked Ben Volen about that, and I agree with that. Like, maybe they can do it with Drake May. I don't know. They don't want to do it. They want to play a game where you got to be able to have the margins are pretty thin, but they've taken advantage of the margins, and give them credit, because when they came to Buffalo, the Bills gave them the ball 3 times. The Bills took it away once. They gave them the ball 3 times. And it still took the Patriots till a final drive field goal. But they don't care. That's how they want to win. And credit to them. You can't play that game. You cannot play that game against them this week.
So you feel like the Bills might come out of the gate aggressive? I mean, that of course they're gonna want to run the ball. I'm not saying running the ball is not aggressive, but is this a spot where you feel like the Bills will be shooting for a number on the scoreboard? Like, if we can get them out of their game script, they've not shown they can win a game like that.
It's a really good question. I go back and forth. I say, I don't know if they want to do that necessarily. I don't think they're going to try to have to be as aggressive they were against Cincinnati. I don't think you have to, because you don't have to get to 34 points, right, in this game, 39 points to win. So aggressive from that standpoint, Jeremy, I don't think so. I think it's simply about everything we do has got to be about taking care of the football. And it doesn't mean you have to be super – you're going to take calculated risks. Yeah, but you can't be haphazard or things like that. Maybe, though, maybe they come out and go, look, we're going to try and get you into a game you don't want to play. And I don't think they want to play a game like that. They don't want to play a game where they're going to have to rely on Drake May dropping back 30 times and out-dueling Josh Allen. Again, I love the kid, Drake May, watching him. I think he's great, really. But I don't think that's their preferred method of what they want to do for the New England Patriots.
Yeah, and in this matchup for Bills and Patriots, like, to me, that running the ball for the Bills, it's something they were not able to do effectively in the first game, and that's what always kind of gets the Bills off of their game. Is if James Cook has been stopped, they've not had the answers. The last couple weeks, though, using the tight end and Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox last week against Cincinnati, and last time these two teams played, Kincaid went over 100. Like, yep. He ate against New England, and I feel like we could expect another game where they're going to use tight ends, because this offense runs through, when it's at its best, backs and tight ends to kind of mask the inefficiencies they have at receiver. And I think New England is another game where you might want to do that. They have 2 good corners. Like, okay, I won't throw at the corners. I'll make sure that I've got a very heavy tight end plan in place. Yeah,
so I think this is, and I just said, you don't want to play that game with them. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't run the ball, and because I think that is the way to do this here, because this is a game, to me, without Milton Williams on the other side, expected points, DVOA, all those kinds of things, EPA, expected per play. All their numbers they have not been good against the run. The Patriots, that is, since Milton Williams gone out. They are near the bottom of the league, bottom third of the league against the run since they've lost that guy. I think you got to take advantage of that. I think this is a Reggie Gilliam, Jackson Hawes type of game as well, where you put them on the field, you go at them, you put yourself in situations where then you can be aggressive. You get to 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and you say, okay. You get to 2nd and 4 and say, we're gonna take a shot down the field now. If you could stay two-dimensional like that, that would be great. That just didn't happen the first time around. And the first time around, the Patriots, they did a great job of just extending drives. That the couple plays May made, right, the one to Diggs and all that, and defending Diggs is going to be big in this game for the Bills, no doubt about that. So. I think this is going to be a really good football game, and I think the Bills have to just be super careful of not playing the game that the Patriots want to play and somehow dictating the way they want to play to the Patriots.
Sal Capaccio on the Western Hotline ahead of Bills and Patriots. Thank you, Sal.
You got it, guys.
You can read his piece, his latest, at WGR550.com. Sal's, of course, tracking practice, tracking injuries, and storylines for Bills and Patriots.